welcome to the Red Chair. Thank you so much for being willing and open to sit with us today, to share a little bit about your story, walk us through who Brad Papa is, Papa's in the house, and more importantly, some of those deeper things that are so important to you.
Yeah, I mean, even though I'm colorblind, I know these chairs are red, and, no, I'm super excited. I've never been on a podcast before, so I was looking forward to this and kinda looking forward to whatever conversations may happen, so.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to get to know you a little bit more and unpack, who is Brad? Because you have built with over how many years you've been in the real estate business?
21 years.
21 years of experience, of your history. But I kinda wanna start at the beginning, if that's okay.
Sure.
Tell us, I know you grew up in Kansas City.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your backstory, what growing up in Kansas City was like for you all
Yeah, I
these
mean,
years.
Kansas City has been awesome. Now, it was kinda funny, I moved every 3 or 4 years. I mean, my dad was
Mm.
always getting transferred, so every 3 or 4 years we'd move. My older brother, he would be like, "Should we make friends? We're just gonna move anyway."
Yeah.
And so it would end up being a blessing because it really helped me learn how to build relationships because I always had to learn and meet new people because we moved around so much. But like I said, Kansas City was where I lived all my life for the most part. We did live in Topeka, Kansas for 3 years, maybe Manhattan, Kansas for 3 years. But other than that, we just kind of moved all around the Kansas City area, which once again came nice to real estate because now I knew different parts of the city because I didn't just live in Latham the whole time. I lived up north, I lived in Overland Park, I lived in different areas. So that came really helpful. Yeah, Kansas City, I mean, it's hard to see me wanting to leave it, just especially how much growth there's been lately. There's so many great things about Kansas City and just the general people. Even when I travel and I know I have a bias, I just feel like people tend to be nicer here in the Midwest.
Yeah,
And so
the
that's
whole
something
Midwest
that
nice thing goes.
yes, exactly.
Well, what was your family growing up? What was that like for you, Brad?
Well, growing up, I mean, it was very good, and did get blessed. Now, at one point, I didn't feel like, and here's the story why. So originally, my dad was married, and I had an older brother, older sister, and a younger sister. And then my mom died when I was 16. So then my dad ended up remarrying, and then I got 3 new brothers and sisters. So I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters. And I am proud to say, like, we all get along. Just a couple months ago, we did a brothers trip, and one of my stepbrothers was turning 40 something years old.
Hmm.
And his fiance was just like, "Hey, do you want to come surprise him for his birthday?" And all of us were like, "That actually sounds really fun." And so it feels cool to be a blended family and yet still be close like that.
Yeah.
And so it was just a very powerful experience that he did. He kind of teared up when we surprised him. We got like I'm doing now, but it just when you can make people feel that way, what a gift. And so that's one of the things that's really on my mind is, hey, what can I do to make people feel loved? And that's just a question or a thought and who I want to be. That's on the top of my mind as of now.
Oh, that's
So,
beautiful.
yeah.
To just like walk into those moments with that realization, how can I make people feel loved?
Yes.
I
100%.
love
Because I
that.
mean, that's all we all want is to be loved and accepted.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, we all look in the wrong places. We look on the outside. But it is one of those things that if you can make someone feel seen and feel loved, I mean, how are you not gonna even feel good? Because you know you made that person feel amazing,
Yeah.
you know? So that's what about my heart lately.
I love that, and that it's such a powerful thing too, to really to be able to see and tap into those emotions and those connections with other people, especially the people closest to us.
Yes, but I mean, other than that, I mean, I had a pretty normal life, if you will. Other than that, obviously, that was a big event,
Yeah.
but
So
like
you
I said, it was adjustment. I mean, you come in and you just lost your mom, and now you have these new kids, and technically they moved into our house. Not that that matters, but just seeing how maybe they at the time maybe weren't maybe the nicest to the mom, and we just lost ours. That was very hard to watch. And then my dad's watched on eggshells because, like, well, these are my kids, but they're not my kids, and they're
Mhm.
disrespect my new wife, but they're her kids, and a lot of weird dynamics where it's like, what's the right thing to do here?
Sure.
And so one of the things I've learned is just you can't avoid difficult conversations.
Mhm.
And I've always, unfortunately, never liked conflict. Not that anyone really loves it, but I really did not. I was too much a people pleaser, just want everyone happy. And I'm just like, man, this is not good. And that's
Mm.
something that unfortunately I learned the hard way that, like, if I love someone and I don't maybe want to bring something up to them, eventually it's going to come out
Yeah.
and it won't be in a healthy way. And it's like, oops, that's not who I am. Dang it. Like, I take a lot of pride in being a good guy, but I just want a good guy in that moment. And it's just like, so now I feel like I've learned, like, hey, when things come up, you got to bring it up.
Yep.
And it's just one of those things. this one liner that reminds me that has helped me is conflict avoided is conflict multiplied. And
That's
that's
good.
been one that I really try to work. Okay, Brad, I know you don't want to have this conversation, but you might be having it in a month and it'll be a lot worse. So while the fire's small, let's take care of it versus wait until it gets out of control.
That's right. What so Brad, tell us kinda what happened. How did you growing up here in Kansas City, the family dynamics, how did you find your way into real estate or what happened next? Those high school years, post-college,
Yeah. So when I was in college, I feel like, in my guess, I bet you 80% of people don't know what they're going to do. People might say they know what they're going to do, and some people I do believe them, but some just have to act like they know what they're doing.
Right.
But I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I was like, oh, maybe I'll make special effects for movies. So I went to university at the time. It was called University of Missouri Rolla. Now it's called University of Science and Technology, I think.
Mhm.
But anyway, I went there and I found I did not belong there. And I was just like, well, I don't even know how they let me into college. People were so smart. The average ACT score is a 30. They'd be cracking jokes. I don't even get the jokes word. And I like to laugh. I was like, this is way above me. So then I was like, I have no idea what I want to do, but I always thought, well, I like to teach. So maybe since I knew I thought I want to retire as a teacher, and I don't know what I want to do now, I'll just become a teacher. So I transferred to KU, and then I went 2 more years. So I got my degree, but I had to go for a 5th year to get a teaching degree or a
Okay.
teaching certificate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, 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 I'm done with school. So then I talked to, believe it or not, my high school principal, who I still talk to. And he's just like, well, Brad, just go in corporate America, be a trainer, and then you could even maybe travel the world a little bit and you might even get paid more. It's kind of a win-win. I'm like, hey, that's not a bad idea. So I went to a company called State Street, and basically I hated my job,
Mm.
but I love my boss and the people I work with. So it made it really hard to leave because I love the people, but I couldn't stand my job. Basically, the really smart people say buy and sell these stocks and bonds, and whatever money's left over, put into the this money account,
Mm.
money market account. So I did that. I didn't once again decide what to buy and sell. I just made sure it happened. Well, every month in, I really hated my job because I had to do monthly reporting. So I had to make all these big books of saying, here's how much money you've made this month. Very repetitive job. I couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was very good at computers, and I figured out a way to automate the computers to do all of that while I was gone. So my boss was very impressed. He's like, you got to see this. He brought the CEO down. He's like, check this out. And they couldn't believe it. I was saving the company thousands of dollars a month because instead of me doing all this manual work, it would burn all these CDs while I was gone. And then all we had to do is mail a couple CDs versus all these big books, which by the paperweight and all that was just a lot of money. So I saved them a ton of money. I think I went from making $28,000 a year to $30,000 a year. And talking about a pivotal moment, it's
Wow.
like, screw you. I just did this, and this is how I'm rewarded.
Wow.
And it was that moment that I was like, I need to be in sales because if I do a good job, I should be rewarded. But if I don't, I shouldn't be. Now, at that point, it was also very scary because I'm like, what am I going to sell? Like, I don't, no offense to anyone, I don't want to sell knives. I'm like, oh, look, it cuts through everything. Or, oh, look, this vacuum cleaner, it vacuums everything. I only want to sell something that people truly need. And I just didn't want to be that stereotypical bad salesperson. And I just really did not go well with who I was. And so my best friend told me for years, you should check out real estate, check out real estate. And I was like, no, no, no. Well, finally, I was just like, okay, I'll check this out. So actually before that, I actually thought I wanted to work at Cerner, and I had a bunch of contacts there. And so I went to Cerner and I interviewed, and I love my boss. I was like, hey, just give me a heads up. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get this job. So I just want to give you a heads up so you find a replacement. Well, I didn't get the job, and not to be cocky, but my belief system was that if I get the interview, I get the job. That was just my belief system. If you get the interview, you get the job. And so it was kind of like, oh crap, I thought I had my ticket out of here. Now what am I going to do?
Oh, wow.
So then I really thought about, oh shoot, hey boss, I still need my job. I'm trying to figure stuff out. And I started reading books on real estate. I was reading a bunch and doing a bunch of research. I'm like, wow. So in real estate, from my ignorant perspective, there's zero sales because when I help someone buy a home, all I do is show them a property, as many as they need. And
Mm.
once they is like, I like this one, then I'll walk them through the process and help them buy it. And if I help someone sell a home, it's just hire me versus this person, which to me is no different. Like, hey, that's me selling me saying, I believe in me.
Yeah.
I believe I'm a good asset. Like, hire me, I'll help versus these people. So I was like, oh, this is beautiful. I don't need to feel guilty about these people buying this or that and stuff they don't need
Right.
when they're ready to buy a home. And I don't have to say, this is right home. It's just like, hey, oh, you like this home? I actually do the opposite. I say, here's the top 10 reasons you shouldn't buy this home
That's good.
because I want to make sure they're really making a good
Mhm.
investment. And so then it was like, whoa, this is awesome. So that's how I got into real estate.
Huh.
Now, the funny part about that is obviously there's a ton of sales, if you will,
Sure.
in real estate, but I still just believe there was no sales in real estate. I was in real estate for about 4 years, and one of my clients who worked at a university said, Brad, I swear to God, I'm not bragging here. He's like, you're one of the best salesperson I've ever met. Will you please speak at my college? I'm like, it was the weirdest feeling because obviously it was a compliment, but I'm like, I'm not a salesperson. And that's when I had to get rid of that belief because my new belief at that time was like, we are all salespeople. We're always trying to sell someone. Even if tonight you're trying to be like, hey, where should we go to dinner? If you really want Texas Roadhouse and someone wants Applebee's or whatever, you're going to kind of pull for, oh man, I really want Texas Roadhouse. I want those rolls.
Yeah.
Or if it's kind of like, hey, we're going to paint our house. What color do you want to paint? I want it this color. Well, I want it this color. You're always selling. But the main thing is I had such a negative connotation with sales
Mm,
that I was like, no, you can still be a good person. If you are trying to influence someone in a positive way, that's good.
that's right.
So if I'm helping someone buy a home, hey, that's awesome. And there's times I need to tell people, no, you can't buy this home. Like it's a money pit. There's all these things wrong with it.
Yeah.
And it feels good to once again sell them into not buying the home.
Mhm.
And let's say someone needs to work out and they're going to die of a heart attack because of their health situation. There's nothing wrong. But like, okay, how do I get inside this person's head to get them to do what's good for them?
That's right.
And so that's what I love. Unfortunately, with any industry, you're going to have the people who take advantage.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have the people like, oh, shoot, I can make some money. All I got to do is this, and this. I'm going to make them buy this home. I'm not going to tell them about that crack I saw or whatever.
Right.
And so, but that's with any industry. That's
Absolutely.
like, I can't let that prevent me from enjoying it.
Sure.
And so once I got rid of that belief system of how sales is bad and all that, it just really let me enjoy the job
Mhm.
and not once again have that guilt of it's like, no, because if you're influencing someone in a positive way, it still sells,
Yeah.
but it's a good thing. But if you're influencing someone in a negative way, that's when sales is not good.
When you're helping them solve a problem,
Correct.
they're the ones that need a home, and
Correct.
you're the one bringing the solution and leading and guiding them through
Yes.
that.
So, and that's, I don't know. To me, that's one of the things that I forget at times, but
Right.
how lucky we are in real estate because the amount of relationships we get to build. And Tony Robbins was famous for saying the quality of your life is equal to quality of relationships. And that's always stuck with me. And I was just like, man, to think of all the people we get to help. I know I definitely don't like to help people when they're in the divorce situation. There's a part of me that feels like I'm good at it because I can really empathize. But I went to sell these two girls who were selling their home. I'd help them buy a home
Yeah.
like a year ago. I'm like, listen, girls, like I can help you sell your home, but can we figure this out? Because you're going to take a financial hit.
Mm.
And one of the girls out of nowhere is like, she cheated on me. And I'm like, all right, let's sell this home. But I was like, I just wanted to help them, but I was like, we all get in our fights. I'm like, is this a big enough fight? Like, I know this is going to be a big financial impact. And sometimes people don't know. They just think, oh, I bought a shirt at Target. I don't like it. I'm going to want to return it. I'm like, no, this house is a big deal.
That's right.
And they might not have known about the commissions and stuff. Because on the buy side, back in the day, they weren't, in theory, paying for the buyer's agent. So then it's like, hey, it's free. So
Right.
it was just, I don't know. That's something that I'd wish I would remind myself of more because I've thought about it a lot. So many jobs are going to have their negatives to it. But what are we going to focus on? I think about how some people, there's a job on a cruise where all they do is say, washy, washy. When you go in to eat, a girl or a guy, literally all they do is say, washy, washy. And it's because they want you to wash your hands to prevent everyone from getting sick on the cruise ship.
Exactly.
I think that's their job. Or think about someone who's just cleaning bed to bed, emptying trash to trash. So it's like you have someone who has a job that all jobs are repetitive.
Yeah.
But if you have an opportunity to make more money and feel like you're making an impact,
Mhm.
that's pretty cool. Like even
Exactly.
at my client parties I've had people that had 0 kids, and now at my client party, they have 3 kids. And to see that transpire is pretty amazing. It's just like, wow, that is so cool. Not to mention some of the people that have called me for advice, just whether it's on life or finances or whatever, that feels awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just kind of like, I don't, ever want them thinking of me as a realtor. I just want them thinking of me as a human being that's here to help. And so I don't care what it is. As you know, when I speak at the office, I hardly talk about real estate because it's all in our head,
Exactly.
so in real estate, I help people with their home, but in life, I want to help people with their emotional home because that's where we all truly live. I don't care if you live in a mansion or in a rental. This is where you live right here.
Yep. Right in the space
And
between your
yes. And so it's just like, that's the biggest thing I've learned here, especially recently, is you don't want to live in here. It's a very scary place. It's like nothing good is gonna, at least for me, is going on up there. So I got to, all right, get out of my head. Once again, Tony Robbins, if you're in your head, you're dead.
Yeah.
And that really stuck with me too. It's like, okay, I'm spinning way too much. Nothing good's going to come from this.
Yep. I love that. So you've unpacked a little bit about, your how you got into real estate. Tell us what that first year, 2 years looked like for you. What were some of the biggest challenges for you?
When I was pretty blessed because I knew a lot of people just from hanging out all the time and honestly going to the bars and having some drinks with friends and stuff. But it was kind of a game. I mean, it really was a game because basically I had $2,000 in the bank and I knew it took $2,000 for me to live because I made my spreadsheet. And back when I started, I knew I only had 6 months because from my perspective, they had 0% on interest cards at that time that you didn't pay anything until 6 months. So I'm like, okay, there's no way I'm ever going I don't make enough money. I make $20 to $30,000 a year. I can't save enough money to have 6 months reserves. That's not going to happen.
Mm.
So I just need to make it happen. And so I was just like, all right, when am I going to make this happen? And so I got to the point to where I was going to put in my 2 weeks, but then someone said, hey, wait a couple more weeks because I think if you put in your 2 weeks and end on like January 1st, then you maybe get health insurance for that full month or something. So I was like trying to save any money I could. But I was like, okay, I basically have 6 months to sell a couple homes in order to make this happen. And so I was just anything I could do to find business, I would do. I mean, there was sometimes I'll walk through Home Depot and just walk around and see if I'd hear anyone talk about real estate to see if I could pop up and start talking to them. I would go to bookstores and I'd put my business card into first-time homebuyer books or something. Just put that in case they're reading like, oh, wow, check out this card. But if someone said, hey, we're going to happy hour, I would go to every happy hour and just try to see what conversations were going on. But to me, the fun part was just like, where am I going to get my next deal?
Mm.
Because I think what any business owner probably doesn't know when they're first starting a business is the hardest thing is getting a client.
Yeah.
To me, once you get a client, it's pretty easy. And
Mhm.
yes, every real estate transaction can be different. But for a plumber, electrician, and anything, there's 20 million realtors, there's 20 million electricians, there's 20 million plumbers, there's 20 million of everybody. So it's like, why use me? And that's the hardest part to really differentiate yourself and get someone who wants to use you versus someone else in any business. And so it just, like I said, I'm sure you're a team leader, you know a ton of realtors.
Sure.
But anyone you talk to, it's not like, oh, I have a realtor. They probably know 10.
Yeah.
So why are they going to use this one over this one over this one? And so to me, that's what most people don't realize when they start a business is, hey, you can be really great at what you do, but when you haven't even built a home yet, when you haven't done this or done this yet, it's harder to get someone to really give you that respect to kind of be like, okay, I'll try it on you. Cause like nothing against a massage therapist, but if I go to get a massage and I don't get a good one, okay, I wish it's 60, $100, whatever, that sucks. If you go to buy a house and someone screws up bad, that's huge.
Yeah.
So it's totally understandable why someone wouldn't want to use you in the beginning.
Right.
But to me, there's nothing easier than just truly caring about people.
Mhm.
And that to me was, if you want to call secret sauce, mine. I truly care and people know it.
Mhm.
So they right away know they can trust me and I get to have conversations that no one else has. Because you might be going through something and you don't want to share it. They're like, wow, I feel trusting. I can share this with Brad. Well, now I have more information and I can truly help you. The other people couldn't even help you. They didn't even know that you weren't disclosing this part of your life to them.
Exactly.
But I got that information and I wasn't trying to use a script or do some fancy sales. I'm just like, so why are we even selling?
Mm.
And instead of like, and this sounds bad, maybe I shouldn't say it, but I don't care. I never bring a listing like agreement to a listing appointment because I don't believe in them signing on the spot. I feel like they should have time to think about it. And if I'm good at what I do, they should be able to interview as many people as they want. And at the end of the day, if I'm still the best fit for them, then they go with me. And if I'm not, then they should go with that other person. but I've never been a higher pressure person. So I never bring the thing back. Okay, well, you got to sign here. Oh, I'll cancel all the other appointments. Let me do it. I don't believe in that. I just think let people shop around. They have a right to, they should be able to. And if you're as
Mm.
good as you say you are,
They'll
then they'll
choose you.
call you after shopping around. So
Absolutely.
I've always done things kind of backwards because even like I said, the first thing I came up with was I'm going to give top 10 reasons someone should not buy a home when they buy a home.
Mm.
And so instead of like, oh, sweet, they want to buy this house, boom, done. It's so short sighted. It's just like, okay, great. You help them buy a home you know they shouldn't have bought. How do you think that's really going to work out?
Yeah.
A month later, oh, our basement flooded. And not that you can't do a good job and that still can't happen, but if you are knowingly helping someone, if you will, buy a crappy house and make a bad investment, A, how do you sleep at night? And B, it's not going to go well. Now, meanwhile, I talk someone out buying a home. Oh my God, our realtor talked us out of buying a home. That was crazy. And then they end up buying a home. Guess what? I lengthened the relationship. I could have had a quick closing. I only showed them 3 homes. Cool. I already got them under contract. But I had to show them 20. Yes, maybe I don't want to show 20 homes, but I did gain all that market knowledge. And on top of that, now I have more relationship with this client. And now instead of being one transaction, they might have already referred me to 2 more people because they're like,
That's right.
they told me not to buy this house. And so when people just truly care and do the right thing, it always comes back. And I just think I understand it's hard. When you're getting into real estate, you're broke as a joke, at least most people,
Sure.
and you got to make the money or you can't pay your bills. And I guess I was just lucky enough, and that's where I would say I'm proud of myself. And I have a hard time saying that, but with my character, I had no problem saying, nope, you shouldn't do this. Or, hey, in 2007, I think I talked 14 people out of selling, which would have been 28 transactions, because at the time, what they were doing did not make sense. It's like, all right, you're moving for no reason because due to the way the interest rates were and the way prices were going on houses, they're basically making a lateral move. So I'm like, if you want more space, that's not going to happen right now.
Mm.
If you're okay with paying all this extra money, hey, that's great. But if you're not, it's not going to happen. And people were very thankful that once again, I was honest instead of just putting their house on the market and then like, oh, I got them. And now they got to buy a home because they're under contract. But once again, I got referrals from those people that I never even sold their home yet.
Yeah.
And so I wish people could just go with the spirit of truly trying to help someone, understanding maybe they shouldn't be selling right now. There's people who get very emotional and, hey, this just happened, I got to sell. It's like, well, do we? Let's see what's going on.
Right.
And then we're like, oh, wow, I was just having a bad day. Thank you. I helped someone build a home a year later, like, yeah, I think we need to do this, this, this. I'm like, guys, you just built this home and this didn't resell. You built a home. Like, you're going to take a hit. If we have to move, we will sell it. But are you sure? And then like, all right, let's think about it. So I followed up with them like, hey, thank you so much. Yeah, we decided we kind of overreacted. You know, we just had a baby, so we didn't get that much sleep. We weren't thinking clearly.
Right.
I'm like, I get it. That's why I'm asking. But that's what's unfortunate is the people who would just jump on it and like, oh,
Mhm.
cool, cool. Oh, this one's motivated. Oh, they've got to sell because they're going through this. And I wish more people could do that. But
Yeah. And you're thinking about the long game too. You know,
absolutely.
that longevity of the relationship and the client experience that you've provided is something that is gonna create that long-term business for you, and it's not just that one transactional, one and done type of agent, and that's I sounds like what's really separated you in those early years is that you cared and your clients felt it, and they said, "You know what? We wanna refer everybody we know to Brad."
Yeah. And I've truly always been so relationship driven. And the other thing is, I think that people don't, they hear something and they want to do it, but they do it to do it without even think about what they're doing. So what I mean by that is, duh, we want to be top of mind of our clients.
Right.
But in my opinion, I see so many people abusing it. Okay, let's be in touch with them 10,000 times a year. That way we're always top of mind. Okay, I don't need a text. The example I give is, okay, pretend I bought a car today. I don't need a text from him every week saying, hey, blah, blah, blah. Hey, guess what's going on with new car sales? Or, hey, happy Thanksgiving. Like, I don't need all that. So I get where people are trying to be top of mind for the client, but don't say you're providing value. You're not. So find a legit excuse to stay in touch with, of course, everyone's going to be different.
Right.
But to me, like, let's say it's Veterans Day. If you say happy veterans text to every client and some aren't even veterans, right? It's kind of
Right.
like, why'd you just do that? But to me, I just think more about, okay, there's some people who I'll text. There's some people that'll call. There's some people I'll do a Facebook message, depending on what
Mhm.
interaction they kind of like. But you already know some email blasts are going to go out. Back in the day, it was, oh, check out this new recipe. And it's kind of like, maybe if you have a client that loves to cook, be personal and say, hey, you know what? I just tried this new brownie recipe. I think it's awesome. I want to share it with you in case you want to try.
Mm.
Great. That makes sense. But to email a brownie recipe to every single client of yours, to me, that's not value. To me, in my opinion, I'm speaking out of line, but I don't care. It's selfish because it's all about me. It's just like, I want to be on top of mind. So I'm going to ping you guys to death and be that annoying person that you don't like. When
Mm.
you wake up in the morning, most people check their phone and they delete 20 emails in the morning because they're like, oh, junk, 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 junk.
That's right.
That's probably what a lot of people are doing to the same thing. I don't want to be that person.
Mm.
Every single time I have point of contact, I want to be like, awesome, Brad's calling. Awesome, we got this email. What is this about? Most of the time, they know it's just going to be a client event. Who doesn't want to go to a party? If they can't make it, they can't make it.
Yeah.
But that's such an easy thing. Hey, we're having our, annual Christmas party. Just see if you can make it, trying to get food count, all that stuff. That's a hard thing for someone to be mad about.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Now, if
Mhm.
they say they can't go, and then I call them 3 more times, are you sure you can't go? Are you sure you can't go? Obviously, it's like, dude, leave me alone. I can't go. But I just wish, because, a line that I used to hear a lot here was, hey, come from contribution,
Exactly.
which I 100% believe in. But once again, I don't feel like people implement it correctly. They think, okay, come from contribution. Well, sending that recipe or sending what you're sending, is that really coming from contribution, or is that just you wanting to be on the forefront of their mind? And there's that big differentiation point.
Yeah.
And so I wish more people could see that, because to me, it's almost comical because they're like, oh, I hate when people do this. But I'm like, so what are you doing? And they're doing the same exact thing. And I'm just like, trust me, I want to be top of mind for my
Mhm.
clients too. And honestly, I'll probably drop the ball on that to where I haven't done as good of a job as I can. And I need to get more creative to find better excuses to do that. But I think I almost went too much the other direction where I felt like everyone was so on people that I felt maybe I'll actually differentiate if I'm less in contact and it's more personable
Okay.
versus just, oh, I emailed this guy 100 times this year and 500 texts and stuff. It's like, well, I had 3 really good hour-long conversations, And so it's, I shouldn't say this, but sorry, I just speak from the heart. Like, one of the things I personally didn't like about Bold, I don't know if they still do this, is, hey, make 100 contacts today. To me, what value, how is that coming from contribution? That's, I got to call 100 people. Hey, oh, shoot, it's 5 minutes. I got to hang up because I got to make 100.
Right.
All the focus is on me making 100 contacts. Someone could tell me someone just died or just got married. All right, nope. Hey, congrats. All right, got to go. Bye.
Mhm.
No, if you have to be on that phone for an hour with that person because they're going through a hard time, you just have to catch them at a point you can help them. Awesome.
Exactly.
And now the next person, maybe, hey, Brad, I can't talk on, I'm at work, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Now that one's quick. But that's where you have to live in the moment and really see, where's this conversation going? And you
Mhm.
can tell some people, maybe they don't even want to talk to you. It's like, okay, well, okay, bye. Nice talking with you. But that's where I just think of, like, if people could take the focus off themselves and just really think about, am I truly trying to help this person? I guarantee you it'll work out. Like, it's worked out beautifully in my life. And the amount of people that I've kind of followed or know,
Yeah.
the same things happen with them. It's just, think about this. If you're going to get let's say you go to Applebee's today and you get a steak, and the manager walks up, it's like, hey, tell everyone about our steak, tell everyone about our steak, tell how amazing our steak is. You're like, dude, I ain't like finish eating my steak. Like, let's settle down.
Yeah. Exactly.
It'll take care of itself. If their steak is so good, you're going to leave Applebee's and you're like, you'll be wherever you're at. You'll be at church. And they'll be like, oh yeah, I think about going to eat. Oh, you've got to go to Applebee's. Their new steak they have is amazing. If the manager would have never told you, tell people about our steak, you didn't need that.
Yeah.
You just did it out of the kindness of your heart. And I truly believe that about humans. If you saw a great movie, you're just, Brad, you have to see this movie. You're going to tell me about it.
Yeah.
You almost feel guilty for withholding that information. When someone or something is that good, I believe we feel like we just have to share it. I know if I go to a seminar, like back in the day when I go to Tony Robbins seminars, I felt like I've got to share this. I felt like I have so much amazing information I just learned. People need to know this, and I want to share it. So it doesn't matter whether it's someone's business,
Mm.
an apple pie, maybe a pumpkin pie. You have this Thanksgiving, you're like, oh my God, you've got to have this. Steve Jobs made the best, pumpkin pie I've ever had. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
you're going to share that information. So once again, I know some people call their clients, how, in my opinion, is just come from contribution. Hey, this is Brad. Hey, to see you. Do you know if anyone wants to buy or sell in real estate? It's like, wow, thanks. it is my birthday. Do you want to wish me happy birthday? Or you just ask for referrals?
Exactly.
But I'm like, there's a time and place. And if it happens, it happens. But to me, I just like, hey, go for the point of connection.
Mhm.
And where the conversation goes, it goes. But just to ask every single time, hey, who do you know that wants to buy or sell? And I know there's people who are very successful in real estate that's all they do.
Sure.
Kudos to them. I'm just saying, to me, it's all about alignment.
Yeah.
And this is who I am. So this is how I'm going to choose to run my business. And I'm not going to tell other people, you can't do this. I'm just going to say, hey, I've talked to you about this for open houses. Some people make millions of dollars off open houses. Some people say they don't do anything.
Yep.
Well, bottom line is if they work for you, great. If they don't, don't. Now, if it's skills related, work on your skills to let it happen. But too many people just say, oh, this sucks or this doesn't work. And I'm like, it really depends on who you are.
Yeah.
So you need to align your lead generation with who you are, and then you will naturally just do more business.
Yeah.
That's with any business owner.
Yeah, and, people, they get into real estate because they're getting into real estate to do something they love to do. And if they don't love doing that other thing, they're not gonna do it. If you don't wanna make phone calls or if you don't wanna knock on doors, who are we to tell you have to do those things? It's like you wanna focus on the thing that brings you energy, that brings you joy, and that really makes you feel like you're making a difference.
Yeah.
And back to your point, like, it's really about quality versus quantity.
Yeah.
If I can touch that one person today,
Yeah.
if that one conversation that I had with that buyer seller touches them, moves them forward, it's really about the impact you're making and not just another check on the checkbox.
Yeah. And you could easily change that. Instead of saying you have to contact this many people, you have to contact as many people as it takes to get one referral.
Right.
Now, whether it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, if it's on Monday and then I talk to 2 people and I go referral a 2 thing, if I want to, in theory, I hit my goal, I can stop.
That's right.
Now, the funny thing is, once you get that, you kind of get on a high.
Mhm.
So I'd encourage people to use that high because how many times do we really feel like doing something isn't
Mhm.
that often?
Get you in that flow state.
So if I'm in that flow state, hey, let's go with it. So that's actually one of my struggles is I want to have a system, but I don't because sometimes system can take you out of the flow state because it's like, hey, I'm in a flow state, but hey, I'm done for the day. I did what I was supposed to
Mhm.
do. Who cares? Right now you're in the flow. Go with it.
Right.
And then maybe the next 2 days you don't do anything, but you put so much work in that day, it doesn't matter. It's no different when people do like batch content for like social media where they'll
Exactly.
do all their videos this, and then instead of doing it one video per day, they just do it all on that one day. And so I think it might be the, what team? I think that's the Billy Bauer team. I like what they do. I think every day is a different kind of, hey, on this day, I'm making up stuff. On this day, we handwrite notes. On this day, we call people. On this day, we do pop buys. And they kind of change their lead generation tactic, if you will, every day,
Yeah.
which I think is brilliant because, and once again, to me, it doesn't have to be that day. So, for example, even with our food that we eat throughout the week, on Sunday night, we know what we're going to eat throughout the week. Now, it doesn't mean Monday we have to have tacos.
Yeah.
If we're kind of like, actually, lasagna sounds better, but we have all the ingredients. So, okay, instead of doing tacos that day, we're going to do lasagna. And then next day, hey, we're having tacos. The next day, but you see what I mean? You can have some flexibility there.
Mhm.
And to me, that's something that I had to learn is flexibility to me is actually our greatest strength. It's just to me the hardest thing to implement. Because, for example, this is a common question I hear all the time. Let's say you have a goal of selling 40 homes this year and you have a crazy life thing happen.
Mm.
Are you supposed to change your goal or not? Some people are like, no, you said 40, you got to do it, blah, blah, blah. And I've always thought, okay, that's crap to me. I had someone on my team that was in the process of maybe losing their kids. Am I supposed to say, no, you have a goal? I was like, hey, you've got crazy things going on in your life right now. You need to focus on that as you know you do. Don't worry about real estate. Yes, we still got to pay some bills. Don't worry about this goal right now. Let's focus on this. You can always sell more homes a little bit later. But I mean, I think it gets to the point sometimes where people get so focused on these goals. And the funny thing is, if you ask most people, they're not even their goals. It's just goals they're trying to set to impress someone else.
Mm.
And I'm like, was that even really your goal?
Right.
And when I was coaching a lot of people, I mean, our first goal, they're like, I want to sell 50 homes. I'm like, well, why 50? I'm like, why is it not 30? Why is it not 60?
What's important about
And
50?
most and yeah, and I mean, they'd almost be like, "What? I don't know." And I was just like,
Sounds like
"Look,
a good number.
you're not here to impress me. I don't care what
Yeah.
your goal is." And everyone knows on my team, I don't care what each one of you say. It's just I wanna hold you accountable to what it is. So if you want 10, 20, 30, if you hit 30 out of 30, amazing. If you hit 10 out of 10, amazing. I don't view any of you differently. And that's where even you hear a lot of team leaders say, "I want everyone on my team to be a millionaire." Well, it sounds good, but is that what they want?
Mm,
There's some people who would love to make $100,000 a year and maybe work 30 hours a week, and they know they have weekends and nights off.
yeah,
So who am I to say, "No, you need to
right.
make $1,000,000?" Once again, what do people want? So I don't like to put that onto people, and that's the biggest thing I try to dig in when I care is just like, "Hey, you're saying this, but I don't feel it."
Mm,
Like, you're saying you wanna sell 100 homes this year, but I mean, why 100? And then most of the time, it's just because they're trying to impress someone else or whatnot. I'm just like, "Wow, that's a crappy way to live life." Like, you're trying to impress people that don't even care about you,
so true.
and you're the only one who has to live with it.
Right.
So now you're beating yourself up for a goal you didn't hit that you didn't even want, and that's really sad.
Yeah.
And so that's where I try to always slow down people's thinking because I know that's my own problem is I can go so fast as "Okay, let's slow down." It's almost like, "Oh my god, we didn't have any showings. Oh my god, am I gonna lose a listing? Oh my god, do I suck at real estate?" It's
Yeah.
funny how quickly the brain can go, but if I slow it down and slow other people down, then I feel like then I'm able to really help them too. So,
Help them see what's really valid. And like to your point, it really goes back to how do you define success? And if you define it monetarily, with time, with relationships, with your spirituality, like all of those things can be great.
yeah,
But, why are those things important to you and what do you get because of them?
yeah,
Or what are you avoiding,
that's
right?
a big one
What
right
are you
there.
avoiding because of those things
Yeah,
too? I know that's a big one for a lot of agents I work with too.
yeah,
It it's almost it's a push from instead of a pull.
yes. A huge difference too. I never knew the difference, and then when you finally feel it, you're like, "Wow, there is a difference between being pushed versus being pulled." The
Yep,
pull is always so much stronger. It's
exactly.
crazy.
Yep, I'm gonna keep that away, right?
Yeah,
Instead of, I'm pulled naturally to hit
yeah,
those 50 units because I can't not have this XYZ thing or the time or the relationships or whatever it is.
yeah. And so, kinda going back to goals, what does success look like for you?
Mhm.
What does success look for you to this to be a good day? What's a successful marriage look like to you? And to me, people don't slow down and really think about what is that for me?
Yeah,
And so I know back in the day, success to me was to do whatever I want when I want with who I want. And although I still believe a lot of that, now it has more to do with just to, no matter what happens, to be at peace.
mm,
And to me, what a powerful place to be at. Like, it doesn't matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. Because, I mean, how many people do you hear that are so depressed and so much anxiety and all this and everything? And so, once again, who cares if they live in $1,000,000 home or drive the fancy car?
right,
If in their head they're just destroyed, I mean, who wants that life?
right.
I mean, how many times, like, it's crazy. I know people who go on missions trips, and you'll see these kids over here that have, like, nothing. They're like it's like I'm like they're eating mud and water, and they're just, like, happy as can be, and I'm like, "That's just proof right there, like, we don't need all this stuff. We think
Yeah,
we need all this to be happy, and it's so backwards, and I've learned that equation myself too, but we always do things for a feeling, and when you truly get it, it's just so powerful because we think, "Well, I need that to be happy. I need that to be successful. I need that to be." No, you don't. You have it backwards.
yeah,
And it's hard. So many things are easy, like, for me to say, "Don't worry," right? It's just like, "My son's missing." "Oh, don't worry about it. What's worry do? It doesn't solve anything." It's like, "Huh, okay, that's not helpful right now,"
yeah.
right? But, yeah, theoretically, we know it doesn't help anything, but that's one of the things where, once again, for me lately in my journey, become more spiritual lately, it's definitely helped me give me some of that peace that's just been, amazing.
Well, Brad, I'd love to, you've been so open with your journey about with mental health, with mindset, with your spirituality. Can you kind of give us a little bit of a picture or maybe a roadmap from, your journey of some of the good times, the struggles, kind of a little bit of what you've gone through in the last 5 to 10 years?
Well, I would say I was pretty blessed because unless I forget, like, I just felt like I went through so many good times,
Uh,
and just some of it was at a very powerful mindset to where I could reframe stuff so quickly to where I could just, make stuff happen, if you will. And so this is what actually led me to a dark spot was I even taught a class back in the day called Top 10 Ways to Get Out of Funk. And it's just like, people get knocked down, you got to get back up. That's a part of life. And so, I mean, I was teaching classes, I was doing all that. And then a couple of years ago, I reached a point in my life where I got knocked down and I just could not get backed up or couldn't get back up. And that was freaking scary
mm,
because I was thinking, I know how to do this. And I was just like, I teach people how to do this and nothing's working.
wow.
And it was like, what do I do? I do not know what to do. And so this was where it got crazy. There's a guy a good friend of mine, he was talking to me in the parking lot and he's like, Brad, I think God's purposely breaking you because he needs you to know that you need him and he wants a relationship with you. And that really hit me hard and stuck with me. And I was just thinking, holy cow,
Wow.
like, what else am I gonna do? I mean, I've gotta go to God because nothing is working. I mean, no matter I could talk to my wife or my older brother and other people, and I maybe have a 5 minute, okay, I'm okay, and then no. And I mean, I went through it felt like hell. I mean, waking up almost every morning, not knowing if could throw up or not gonna throw up, almost a year and a half of not knowing if I could eat. Until I took the first bite, I didn't know if I could eat or not. It's like, "Oh, shit, I can't eat." And then for me, it was important exercise because that, to me, is really tied to your, mental.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, what's the point? I can't eat, so I'm not gonna have energy to work out, and after work out, I need to refuel." And it was just kinda like it just felt like I had nowhere to go. And so, I mean, I was praying, I was doing this, and I was just like, "Screw it, nothing whatever."
Mm,
And then we got to the point to where my church offered a thing, it's called Men of Honor, and it just kinda hit me. I was like, "I need to do that." And so I definitely came so much more spiritual. So, I mean, quick story, grew up Catholic,
yeah.
and so I was baptized as a kid. Technically I believed, but I went like 100%, but I sort of believed, if that makes sense. And then my mom died. I'm like, "Whatever. God doesn't exist. There's no way. I mean, why would he do this?"
Mm,
And I was just like, "Screw you. I'm done." And so I didn't all of a sudden, go to drugs or do anything crazy, but I just, I stopped going to
yeah.
church. I didn't believe, whatever. And then when I got married, my wife, her grandma was an amazing woman, a saint of all saints. And she was diehard Catholic and she made you want to believe in God. She was the most godly person I've ever met.
Mm,
And just, holy cow, she was special. She's dead now, but out of respect for her, I was like, we're getting married in the Catholic church because we got all your grandma. So then after that, I was like, but then I want to do our own church thing because I want us to really want to go to church versus just checking it off the list like
yeah.
we talked before. So then after that, we started going to a church or two near our house and things were okay. And I didn't 100% believe, but I was just I went in as bad of a spot as before.
Mm,
And then basically, when I hit rock bottom, if you will, I was just like, well, this is the only thing I can turn to. And what happened, what I think is, and I hope people really hear this, is that when I was praying, I'm like, God, come on, dude, I need you.
mm,
I felt like I wouldn't get answers and nothing was happening. I'm like, you know what, Brad? Think about relationships. If you were friends with someone and you haven't heard from this guy in, let's say, 10 years, and all of a sudden he calls you and is like, hey, I'm going through a hard time. Can you help me out? It's going to be kind of like, what? And I know God's all loving and all that, but I think he wanted to prove, Brad, do you really want a relationship? Do you think going to church one time a week and every once in a while praying is a relationship? And so that's one of the reasons why I do Men of Honor is just to really dig into the Bible more and do more spiritual stuff, if you will. And the transformation was just crazy. I remember saying, God, you at least need to let me be able to eat. I need to be able to eat. I promise I will do better. But you have to let me eat. And that next day, I woke up for breakfast and I was like, I think I can eat. And I ate, and I ate for the first time in like so long, like normal. And I
mm,
couldn't even believe it. And it was just like, holy cow. I was like, I've got to do my part. I was like, if you do this, I'll do this. And so that just helped me so much and gave me a huge boost. And I mean, when you can't eat, I mean, it's really hard to do a lot of stuff and you don't
Yeah.
have any energy, and energy is so important. And so it gave me a whole new life. And so the coolest thing is, I mean, like I said, about 2 weeks ago, I was on a date night with my wife, and she just like, "I've really seen a change in you." And that was so powerful. And I was just like, and honestly, I've seen a change in her as well. And one of the most powerful things I've noticed that, once again, I don't want to make it a total system, but it's in the back of my mind of all times is, hey, how can I pray for people?
Mm.
And so I know of someone that's going through a really hard time, and I was just like, hey, can I please pray for you? And I, of course, just cried most of the time, but I felt like it was very powerful. And, later on, they sent me a really nice text or whatever. And it just felt good to know that, I was doing what I could to be there for them. And once
Yeah.
again, to make them feel loved and seen. And so, kind of like be like Jesus, be love.
Mm.
Kind of like I said at the beginning, just be love. Like, just be love so you can truly help people. And so I'm always going to ask for permission. Hey, can I pray for you? I think I'm probably going to have a 10% rejection rate. Now, once again, I don't want to make a system say I have to pray for one person every single day, because I don't know.
Right.
Maybe I don't bump into anyone today, but maybe tomorrow I bump into 3 people. But if in the back of the mind, who is it? I am someone who will pray for someone who needs it. And once again, if they say no, I'm going to respect that. Now, in private, I can still pray for them.
For sure.
But if I can pray with them, I really feel like it's very powerful. And
Yeah.
I really believe in the power of prayer. And so honestly, and this is another thought that just had come to me over the last month. Like, I've always been big into self-help, always big. I've been to almost every seminar, read almost every self-help book out there. And I started thinking, oh my God, like, I wonder if God purposely did this as well, because he didn't want me just talking about self-help. We need to do our part,
Sure.
but we need God too.
Yeah.
And when it's both, it's unlimited power. It truly is. I saw Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins back there. I mean, it's truly unlimited power. And it's just kind of like, instead of me being so selfish and, oh, it's all me, look what I did because I do this, 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 it's kind of like, hey, when I got knocked down that one time, I couldn't get back up
Right.
because I needed him. And it's just like, so maybe he was waiting for me to have that relationship with him before I spoke more. So I'd make sure that I wasn't just talking about all these little tricks, if you will, of, hey, here's a hack that you can do this. It's like kind of like that true happiness or the true peace
Mm-hmm.
that, in my opinion, only comes with God. And even like, well, I won't talk about that because I don't know if anyway, go ahead if there's another question.
Well, I mean, it just reminds me of one of my favorite verses is that his strength is made perfect in our weakness. And it sounds like for you that discovering, that realization that, you know what? Maybe it's not about me trying to fix myself. Maybe it's about me letting go
Yep.
and realizing I can't do it on my own. And I have to the only way to fill up a cup is it has to be empty. And before he can fill anything up, you've got to be completely empty. And it sounds like that's a little bit of the process that you've walked through.
Yeah. And there's a song called The Truth by Megan Woods. Beautiful song.
Mm.
The lyrics are so powerful. I remember one night I was looking at TikTok and I just sat and this video came across and I was like, holy cow, and listen to the words again. And it hit me because I think everyone knows, if they watch the news, if they're on Facebook and all that, don't believe everything you see, don't believe everything you read. But how about not believing every thought you have?
Mm.
And kind of like how it says, take every thought captive.
Yeah.
That's been so huge on me in the last 6 months, and thinking, okay, I just had this thought and I'm like, whoa, that to me is definitely the devil. That is not my thought.
Yeah.
No way. That is not who I am. Nope. I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to give it attention. And it's just one of those things that I think it's so easy to take all these thoughts that we're just having so quickly and just accept them as true versus take the time to be like, is this really true? And that's just been a huge game changer for me, especially since I can go really fast. I'm like, whoa, is this true? I'm like, nope, that's the devil. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And that's a one-liner I learned from a book and from baptism, was just like, hey, that's the old me. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And so this other book I'm reading right now talks about, hey, you still have the neural pathways that are going to have these quote unquote bad thoughts or a quick way to go to a bad place. But the sooner you can recognize that's just the old you, that neural pathway get a lot closer, and now you can have the one with God, and it just makes it so much more powerful.
That's right.
Yeah. So
Well, how do you see, your mindset, the shift, your new like this rejuvenation, if you will, how do you see it affecting your business, your family, these things that are so important to you? How do you see those things transpiring day to day in your own life right now, Brad?
yeah, well, I mean, it's been awesome. I mean, I feel like the pattern I would say is the closer the relationship I have with God, the better I feel about myself. And by both of those relationships together, it just makes me a better human to where I'm going to be able to do better for everyone. So I taught a class, you had asked me to teach a class on relationships, and I kind of went a different direction. I'm like, hey, maybe you want me to go this way, but I'm just going to tell you the most important relationship you have is with yourself. Because you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself, how are you going to be good to other people and all this?
That's right.
And now if I taught that class again, I'd have to reteach it because now I believe the most important relationship is with God.
Yeah.
And the more we truly try to be like him, it's just kind of like, how are you not going to be good?
Mm,
And when you have that peace that you don't have to be better because technically you're dead and he's living through you, you don't have that pressure of having to be enough because you already know. I just imagine I'm up in heaven, God's got his arm around me, like, dude, you're good the way you are.
that's right.
And so it takes a lot of pressure off. And like I said, I was on date night. My wife already realized, wow, I can see a transformation in you. Well, now it's like an easy way to inspire other people. And you've seen it. You can walk into a room. There'll be someone who walks into, well, let's say a party and like, I want what he or she has.
Yeah.
They just have the energy that is so happy and just at peace. I want what they have. Almost every time they have Jesus. That's the pattern I've found where I'm just like, holy cow, it took me a little long to learn this, but I'm glad I have.
Mm,
So it's kind of funny because I'm 47. I'm like, I'm 47. I went to heaven. But I mean, like I talked, it's all about peace of mind, in my opinion. So how am I not going to be a better dad? How am I not going to be a better husband? How will I not even be a better realtor?
yeah.
And I truly believe that God has continued to bless my business to where it's just kind of like I said, I probably could have done better about keeping in touch with some of my clients, but I was too worried about being in too much contact where maybe I should do more. And it's just like, I don't know, just like I said, it almost doesn't even matter. Like quality of life is what I've always been about. And now I feel like I truly have even more of that to where I thought I really did have a great quality of life. There always felt like there was something was missing, which almost made me feel weird because I'm like, I have such a great life. Like, why do I feel like something's missing? And so this is the piece that just kind of makes it feel like
Kind of clicks.
we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. And so now I just feel responsible. Once again, like there's something so good you just want to share it.
Yeah.
So that's where like I said, I don't want to dominate where we're
No,
just
I
talking
love it.
about God
This is
Jesus, but at the same time, it's kind of hard not to right
yeah.
now.
What advice would you give someone, Brad, who might be in the same situation that you were? Maybe they lost someone really close to them. And it seems like that was kind of a struggle that you had early on. What advice would you give them if, they might have some hurt around what happened and in reference to like spirituality?
Well, I think it's a lot actually. I think we always need to surround ourselves with community.
Yeah.
And there's always someone that cares about you. I mean, obviously, maybe not obviously for some people, God Jesus definitely always loves you. And in addition to that, there's someone else out there that truly does love you as well. So, like my wife and older brother trying to be there for me and, said some amazing things, maybe held me up for a little bit, but then, I just kind of fell back down or whatnot. But I mean, get connected however you can, because to me, the devil wants us in isolation because we're weaker when we're by ourselves. And so, once again, whenever you're in a bad spot, my rule is do the opposite what you think because the devil's trying to give you bad thoughts to keep you down. So, once again, I just want to lay on the couch. No, go for a walk. If you see someone calling you and you're like, I'm too depressed right now, I don't want to talk, no, pick up the phone. And I can remember this. There was someone on my team calling me, and I was in a bad spot. I'm like, how am I in any space to help them
Right.
right now? I put on my big boy pants. I'm like, all right, let's do this. And then I talk. And as I was walking them through their problem, by the time I got off the phone, just by helping them, I felt joy where I was like, man, that felt really good to serve and to help someone.
Yeah.
And it got me out of my own head where I was just like, no one knows what I'm going through. And that's the thing. It's so easy to go, no one knows what I'm going through. And it's like, man, that's the devil. That's the pity party that we don't want to be part of. My brother says it, I like what he says. He's like, leave your self-pity party and go to the self-love party.
Mm.
And it kind of drew 2 different rooms. I thought it was pretty cool, but, he gotta stay connected because once again, even like back in the day when we were trying to have kids and we couldn't at the beginning and we had to go see doctors. Holy cow, the amount of people that are trying to get pregnant that can't.
Wow.
I never knew that existed.
Mm.
And I might have told you this story. I have a client that's had 28 miscarriages.
Mm.
We only had 1. I can't imagine 28. I mean, how do you keep going? Like I can't imagine living through that over and over and over. But once again, when you can find other people are going through the same thing, to me, then it's easier to get out of, and I hate to say the pity party, but I mean, when we become a victim, and it's very easy to become a victim, when you're going through hell, it's easy to be there, and I get it.
Yeah.
But when you can surround yourself with other people and God, I just really feel like that's the only true way out, is because it's easy to be like, I'm the only one going through this, no one else knows. And I've caught myself saying that before.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, that's not the truth. Once again, that's a lie planted by the devil. That is not the truth. And so I don't care from a spiritual perspective what church someone go to. Who cares? Where do you connect? I grew up Catholic. I wasn't going to keep going to Catholic because I knew I would not go to church if that's all it did was make me feel guilty. And it was way too, I don't know, boring is the only way I say it, where I didn't feel like, hey, give me something real that I feel like I can apply versus just hearing the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
And so now when I feel like, which is cool, at my church, these people invented an app and they don't charge anything. It's had over 1 billion downloads. And someone's like, dude, you could have charged just $1 and you could have $1 billion.
Mm.
He's like, my vision was I want the Bible to be in everyone's hand for free. How awesome is that for someone to live that out? They could have had a goal and I'm like, whoa, this is really taking off. We can maybe make and to do that, I mean, to me, it's just amazing. So I'm just thinking that's who I want to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I would even encourage people as, you know, the new year's coming up, as opposed to just thinking, what are your goals? Who do you want to be?
It's
And
good.
if you structure it more on who do you want to be, then let your goals come from that. But like I said, be kind. You see those shirts? To
Mhm.
me, be love, be Jesus. That's the only kind of 2 words I'll kind of think about. And it just, I like to live the simple life. And how easy is it if you're just thinking, be love? You want love? Be love. I promise you, if you give it away, it's easy for it to come back. But most of the time, we're waiting for it to come our direction, being like, "What? Why can't we give it?"
That's right.
And it's an easy trap to fall into. I get it, especially when you're down. But like I said, when I was in the dumps and I helped someone else, it helped pick me up.
Mm.
We're meant to serve. It's just that simple. We really are. And that's why I just hope people truly come from the heart and really try to serve
Mhm.
people and not just look for the quick bang buck, whatever.
Yeah. It's a really great point. In leadership, it's really about giving back. It's really about service. And how do you model that servant leadership? What advice would you give to team leaders, to people that are leading groups, to other people? How do you show up day after day to lead the people that are in your charge and then motivate them, help them continuously to focus on that next thing for them?
Bottom line is, for me, I never want anyone put me on a pedestal.
Mm.
We're all the same.
Yep.
Yes, I'm the team leader. I get it. We're all the same. So if we're doing client parties, I want everyone involved. Hey guys, what do we think we should do for client parties next year? I want everyone's involvement. I'm never going to say, hey guys, here's what I think. What do you think? Because now I already they're probably like, yeah, Brad, that's a good idea. It's a good idea. And I get exactly what I want. I'm like, oh, cool. Nope, we're doing my parties. So they know, once again, because I care, they know they can come to me with anything. They're not going to be, in fact, I tell them this, I will never be mad at you if you ask me a question. Now, if you make a big mistake because you didn't ask a question, then I will be mad because my name's on that. And now my name got thrown in the mud for no reason. You could have called me, said, how is this? And so they know they can call anytime. And, one time, I remember someone seems like, sorry, Brad, I'm so sorry. It's so embarrassing. I'm having a brain fart. Just how do I do this? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, we all do it. It's fine. Thank you for calling. Yes, you're correct. It's $3,000 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
A very simple, question, but it was like, we have a million things going on. We can't add 2 plus 2 in our head for whatever reason.
Right.
But I think when people, once again, you don't think you're the hot shot, like, oh, look at me. I don't even know if I can tell you how many homes you sell. You're not worth my time. People can feel that.
That's right.
People can feel that. So I want to feel so approachable. And that's to me what a real leader is. They don't put themselves on the pedestal. And if anyone tries to put them on the pedestal, they try to remove that and say, dude, no, it's not like that. Because we're all human and we all make mistakes and no one's got it all figured out, even though it might look like it. And that's the trap I'll fall into every once in a while. Like, oh, no, they've got it all figured out. I'm like, Brad, no, they don't. Now, it might look like it,
Yeah.
but they don't. And so, I mean, a leader, once again, if they truly care and try to remove that pedestal and to make sure that the voices are truly heard.
Mm.
People know, hey, guys, what do you think you should do for client parties? That's funny. Well, here's what we're doing. I mean, we've all been there to where why even ask for opinion? I know it doesn't matter.
Mm.
But if they truly know their voice is heard, how awesome is that? I'm doing a client party here in a little bit, and we have it limited down to 2 ideas. I'm like, hey, here's the deal. You guys rule. Whatever majority is, that's what we're doing next year for this time. And so whatever it is, that's what we're going to do. And I think I just empowered my own clients to be like, hey, that's pretty cool. We had input on our, client event. And one of the client events I've done for years, I always ask for feedback. And someone gave some feedback, and I thought it was great feedback. I was like, wow, Tom, thank you so much for this information. I want to let you know, thank you for sharing this. We're definitely doing this next year. If there's anything else we can you think of, please let us know. Because I can't believe we didn't think of this. This is awesome. Thank you. Another person, hey, I want to let you know, we did get your feedback. Thank you once again for it. The only reason why we're not doing it is because of this. And here's blah, blah, blah. And then we explain to them why we didn't. But I want to make sure, once again, they feel heard. Because what I say at the beginning, people just want to feel loved, heard, seen. It's very simple. When you break down humans, it really is simple that we all want the same thing.
That's right.
But it can look like it gets all complicated with life. But once again, big deal. I'm a leader. But, over here, maybe I would be way down here on the totem pole because, in this space, oh, Brad knows a lot. So he's the quote unquote leader. But over here, he knows nothing. So now this guy's a leader. Or
Right.
this girl's a leader.
Mm-hmm.
And so and that's something I have to work on myself, is not putting other people on a pedestal. Whereas like, whoa, she knows way more than me. Like, holy cow. And yes, I want to be respectful and be like, wow, what can you teach me? This is amazing. You know so much. But I don't want to just beat myself up like I'm such a loser. How come she's so amazing and has all this? It's like,
Right.
find that healthy balance of just like, hey, I respect you. I want to learn from you versus, oh, I'm nobody. Please teach me. I don't know anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I mean, once again, if your people truly feel like they can come to you, to me, that's a good sign of being a good leader because they shouldn't fear you.
Mm.
And it's easy back in the old school days, fear, fear, fear. And it's like,
Right.
is that really being a leadership?
Yeah.
I mean, that's being a bully.
Right. I think of my kids too. It's like, do you want them to fear you or do you want them to love you?
Yes.
And over time, like you can see the fruit of each.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Well, what are final thoughts, Brad? Things that you want to make sure that you leave us with? Any advice that you give to anybody out there that might be in a similar situation that you've been in? Maybe a agent just getting started out or someone who might have some questions around some of the things you mentioned today.
Well, I mean, as you know, my mantra forever, and it's not going to change, is do the right thing for the right reasons.
Mm.
And when you really implement that into any decision you make, it does make decisions so much easier. Because oftentimes, if we truly listen, we know what we need to do. We're just maybe afraid to do it. And so the quick story I'll give you, I think I'll tell you a story where I was hiring. I didn't know who to hire. It was down to 2 people who were both very qualified. Now, the tricky part was one was my sister, one was someone else. Now, I didn't want to hire my sister just because she's a sister. And not to sound like a bad brother or whatnot, but I'm like, if she's not the best candidate, I shouldn't hire her just because she's family.
Right.
And so luckily my wife's so much smarter than me. And this is actually a good teaching moment. It didn't have to be either or.
Oh.
I ended up hiring both.
Mm.
Now, let's be clear. I didn't avoid a tough conversation. I didn't avoid a tough decision. I truly did the right thing for the right reason because here's the deal. My business is really growing. And I was hiring an assistant. An assistant, yeah, I need to pay a salary. But if you hire a buyer's agent, as you know, you're not paying a salary.
Right.
So it was like, wait, this is a win-win. I made room for talent. And instead of being like, nope, I can only hire one, always like, well, hire both. And once again, so I still got the assistant I needed. At the same time, since I was growing anyway, now I had more leverage because I had an extra buyer's agent and I wasn't out any more money.
Mm,
And so it's just something that wasn't even, and so me being a math major, I can at times definitely be black and white. And that's where I think it's a good thing to be aware of. It's like, it's not always this or this. Sometimes it can be both.
that's good.
And that's something that I've realized a lot. That there was guilt I used to feel. There was a time my son was coughing nonstop. He was going through major health issues. And there's a part of me that felt so guilty because I wanted like, oh my God, stop coughing. Like, holy cat, like when you're around it 24/7, it's hard as a human not to almost get upset.
Mm,
And so part of me felt like a bad dad for having that thought. And then another part of me, obviously I felt so guilty for that. Another part of me is crying inside because I felt so bad for him for
yeah.
all the pain he was in. It's possible to have both of those things. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be you're either guilty or this sucks how much it is. You can have both. And to make space for everything is kind of like making space for all of our emotions.
Mm,
And how many of us just want to feel happy all the time, but don't want to feel sad? So we push sad away and like, you're not welcome here.
that's right.
And what I've learned the hard way is you've got to find a way to feel that feeling because otherwise it's just going to lead to overthinking and you won't be able to outthink a feeling.
Yeah,
It's just gonna keep going and going and going until you acknowledge it. And so
that's
that
so
that's
good.
a life lesson that I learned. But I mean, as far as like a new agent getting in, once again, as a community, they have to get involved. Obviously, here at our office, Keller Williams offers 20,000 training, so there's no excuse not to get plugged in. Um, I think a team is definitely a good thing to get involved with because A, you'll have more accountability, and B, it should hopefully ideally speed up your learning curve.
Yeah,
That said, they obviously have to find the right team. Obviously, all teams operate differently,
that's right.
just like anything. Find the right church, find the right team. You've always got to find your right community.
Mhm.
And so it's just one of those things that I didn't join a team when I first started. I was so dead set on I'm going to make it happen. And I don't want to feel like I'm starting over because if I join a team, then my thought process was, well, then if I want to go out my own, then I'll feel like I'm starting over because I'll have to get my own new clients again. But if someone joins the team, stays on the team, and everything makes sense, it can be a great win-win.
That's
But I
right.
mean, I think today, so many people are so isolated.
Mm,
I think joining a team would be a thing to do. And then, of course, plug into the office because of all the trainings and to minimize the time that they're at home. I know that when I first got in the business, I was like, I can only be home this many hours a day because then it kept me out and about where I had to force myself to network and be around people.
mhm.
And honestly, I mean, when 2020 hit and you're kind of locked inside your house, that definitely wasn't good for probably anyone's mental health, especially mine, because I'm like, I want to be around people.
Yeah,
I get energy from it.
right,
And now I'm just supposed to stay in here. I'm like, Zoom doesn't work for me. There's not the same energy.
right.
That virtual stuff does not work for me. Yes, if you have to do a Zoom meeting here and there, it is what it is. But otherwise, no, if I'm speaking or I'm with people, I want to be here, not on a Zoom call with you right now.
Exactly.
So, but I mean, community is always going to be the answer in my mind. I mean, you've heard no one succeeds alone.
Mhm.
I've just learned, especially now with my latest journey, leaning on God, like, man, we need a village.
Yep.
And like, especially me having 3 kids, the times that you carpool or you say, can you do this or this? I mean, it's amazing. Or if you're growing up and, hey, can you help babysit? I mean, we all need each other.
That's right.
And so once again, that's why I just like to be in a position to where I never feel like I'm better than someone. Because once again, imagine if I'm like hiking a mountain right now and pretend I'm a billionaire, but I need water and I'm going to die of thirst. Who cares what my net worth is? Or who cares about right now?
Right.
I'm on a mountain, and if someone else can help me out, none of this even matters.
Yep.
And so, I don't know, and it just feels good to be a good person
Mhm.
anyway. I mean, how good? I know, like one time I got called about something. I was like, well, I know that's not true because I knew I wouldn't do that.
Mm.
So it's almost like if you got sued, it's kind
Yeah.
of like, well, I know I didn't do that, so I'm not too worried. You know what I mean? And so it just makes it nice to live with that peace once again because you know who you are.
Yep.
But
When you know who you are, you can absolutely live in that peace.
yes,
It's good.
yes.
Well, Brad, if they wanna find you, or if they're interested in your business, how do we find you? How do we reach out to you and connect with you directly?
Well, phone number is 913-526-4985. And then if you don't know, Papa's in the house, and it's just PAPAS for Scott, and then in the house all spelled out.com is my website. And obviously you could send me an email but once again, I just gave you a phone number to make it simple. So once again, I'm more personal. So decided to get the phone number.
That's right. Give us a call.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Brad. We appreciate your time, your vulnerability, your story, what you've shared. It was amazing to really just get to lock in and hear more of your story.
Cool. No, thank you. I really hope I can help people out. And yeah, if people want to reach out, I'm more than happy to share. I'm a pretty open book, as you know. So it's, I know, like I said, it feels good to give. So if someone wants to call or text, obviously we're getting close to the holidays. So if it's on Thanksgiving, I might not be calling you back that day, but otherwise happy to, take a call. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Brad.
All right. Thank you.
Mhm.